I will say I support everyone kissing everyone. Like dating, not dating, boy, girl, kiss everyone. Just kiss. It's fine. Hi guys, welcome to LoveCast BL podcast. I'm your host Pixie, and with me are my co-hosts Alexa and Kayla.
Hey.
Hello.
So today we are gonna do like a sort of a deep dive into catching up with whatever is happening in the BL fandom at the moment. There's always something happening, so we've dug through the internet and found some stuff, or Kayla and Alexa have found some stuff because I'm really not up to date. So yeah. Who wants to start?
Okay, I have one that we could start with. We could start with my one that's kind of silly. Because it honestly was such a big point of conversation. But that is basically Songkran and the aftermath of Songkran. Because it left multiple fandoms in complete shambles, which is just so funny to me. Like, people were saying that it was basically a pride event.
Was this about the kissing? I saw something about kissing.
I think
Yeah,
just
there was
Songkran in general had a
there
lot
was
of
a lot. Yeah, there were literally like so many pairings, I guess, that had very intimate moments publicly that people were freaking out about, but I specifically want to talk about Ohm and Jimmy because, like many other pairings, they were kind of caught in the background of someone else's video, being very affectionate, being very clingy. Some people thought that they actually kissed, but I couldn't really tell from the footage because it was super zoomed in and like not great quality. Yeah, so the reason why I specifically brought this one up is because the part that had everyone gagged was this string of tweets that Ohm made in the midst of Songkran. It was like he was having like a mini crash out. But basically he tweeted, do you want me or do you not? And then he tweeted, fuck it, I love you. And then he tweeted in Thai and said, brothers are not like this, or like brothers don't act like this. And then he tweeted like an upside down smiley emoji. And it was just like clearly a string of like drunk tweets. Like you could tell that he was just like sitting there moping to himself, drunk tweeting. So yeah, the fact that he was tweeting this out in the middle of the night, by the way, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., right after Songkran, right after like him and Jimmy were, I guess, seen being affectionate. People were kind of side-eyeing it. But yeah, I thought the whole thing was just like very interesting. Not like very serious, but it just is, the timing was very interesting to me. I'll say that.
So yeah, there is a second part to that story that happened like a couple of days later. I can't remember how many days after it was after that initial like clip of them in the background and the tweets, but this video, I think it was actually photos that were going around online, but the person who posted them apparently had a video too. But there were photos of Jimmy and Ohm from that night like actually like kissing. And this blew up. Obviously fans were going like very hard, like this is an invasion of privacy, like even if you saw this, why would you post it? And then the fan came back, basically showing a screenshot of a DM where they asked Ohm if they could post. The fan was basically like, I have photos of you kissing, can I post these? I don't want to post it if it'll impact your work. And Ohm was like, sure, go ahead. It later came back that he thought they were just like kind of like the other Songkran things that people post, like kissing on the cheek and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Didn't realize the context of the photos that the fan had. I'm guessing he wasn't thinking that someone would be taking pictures at that moment if they saw it.
Uh-huh.
But so that DM came up, and then Ohm came back and was like, yeah, I didn't realize that that was the extent of the photos that they had. And when I saw how the fans, not even when I saw what the photos were, he was like, when I saw how the fans were attacking this person, I DM'd them asking them to take the video or the original post down to
Mhm.
protect the fan, basically. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, you know, it kind of became this whole big thing because people, I guess, were upset that the fan took flack for something that Ohm technically did say they could post. But then, like, when you go back into
Yeah.
the context of he didn't know like that was the type of photo that they were going to post. Like,
Mm.
in my opinion, if you're a fan and you see two people who are an acting pair making out, you don't need to take a picture of that. Like, that
No.
shouldn't be
Right.
something like that's clearly a personal thing happening. Like, I don't think they should have been taking a photo of that moment to begin with. It's a little bit different from the context of the other moments that we saw at Songkran. A lot of these other moments were taken by friends of the artists and
Yeah.
were probably posted with some extent of permission of the artist, like, you know, but like a fan or someone who was there as an observer taking a photo of two people clearly having a personal moment to that degree. Like, I personally would be like, you shouldn't be taking a photo of that. But yeah, so it basically became a thing where some people were upset with the fan, understandably. Some people were upset with Ohm because it kind of looked like he kind of set the fan up to take flack for that, even though, you know, that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the intention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he ended up like apologizing for the whole thing, like recognizing that he put this person in a weird place and he should have been more thorough with like checking what kind of
Photo.
content they had and
Yeah.
things like that. But yeah, so there was like that actual footage out there, and I think like the
Yeah.
fans have done a really good job
Yeah.
of making sure it's no longer there as per
They,
his wishes.
yeah, they got rid of it because I like to think that I'm pretty good at finding stuff. I was on Reddit, I was on Twitter, I was Googling, I was on forums. I could not like find anything. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was like, did this actually happen, or is
Mm-hmm.
this like something that they're just saying happened? And I didn't see Ohm respond to it. And I went back like in his tweets back to the like drunk tweets, and I didn't see anything. So did he
I wonder
delete?
if he eventually
I
deleted
think he
his
did.
stuff too, because I was like following it in real time and like I saw his posts about it and stuff like that, so they were definitely there. But
Man,
I'm guessing maybe like they're trying to just
just forget you saw
soothe
that.
over the whole thing. um
Oh
Yeah.
my
but yeah,
gosh.
so there was that whole secondary part to that original clip
Yeah.
in his drunk tweet.
Mm.
So
In a weird
Yeah.
way, I I know that like this was like it kind of like turned into a mini controversy. I don't know if a lot of people were outraged about it, but in a weird way, maybe it was good publicity because it made me more excited to see them in the next Prince.
yeah, I think
You know.
Songkran in general like was, even if like I don't think anyone was intending to use Songkran as like a publicity
Mm.
situation, but it did end up being that
It
for a lot
was
of people. And I
Yeah.
think that kind of gets into the conversation of like a lot of people were calling Songkran like fan service moments, and I was like, these are people off the clock just like hanging out with their friends.
yeah.
Like,
Just
that's,
having
they're not
fun.
doing fan service. But I
Yeah.
do think a lot of it worked as like Tone and First One was another one where like they were on everyone's radar after
Mm-hmm.
some of their Songkran clips
Yeah.
were popping off a little bit. So
I will say I support everyone kissing everyone. Like dating, not dating, boy, girl, kiss everyone. Just kiss. It's fine. But I do like this is like a little bit of an iffy situation because like posting that picture is basically outing someone. Uh,
yeah.
yeah. So that's bad, but also good for them.
Good for
I
them
kind
is
of like that they're
crazy.
just like smooth it over,
Just
think what
kiss.
you want to think about the
Right? Like
situation.
I don't know.
Cute.
It didn't seem that serious to me. Like I just thought it was funny. Just like in general,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the idea of Songkran just making so many different like fandoms blow up at the same time is just it's
It
wild. And now
was
it makes me look forward to Songkran. I kind of want to go to
I
Songkran.
I don't know if I just like have not, maybe I was just more locked in this year, but some like it just felt different this year. Like there was
It did.
so
Mm.
Yes.
much coming out every single night. It was like, oh, night 3 of Songkran, what's about to go
It's the new
down?
Valentine's
Right.
Day. It's the new
It
Valentine's
never
Day.
stopped.
It was literally like five
Oh my
nights in a row of
gosh.
like what is gonna pop up tonight. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was a time in the fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will be forever be remembered.
Let's continue next year.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so I will get into my topic. Talk about our good old friends at GMMTV. This was something I was honestly surprised was as much of a like conversation point in the fandom as it was. But I guess it kind of like gets into like the management of artists and things like that, which a lot of people have feelings about when it comes to GMMTV and the number of artists that they have.
Mm.
But basically, on the 27th of April, all of the GMMTV artists started like posting themselves in like this big meeting. They were posting photos, they were posting clips of each other. There was like this big group photo that they posted of all of the artists, all of the managers, and Pita. And everyone was kind of speculating, like, okay, what is this random like company wide meeting happening? It was happening in the practice room. Like it felt like a very impromptu thing. And like
Yeah.
there was like, they came out later that there was a reason for that, which I'll get to. But this meeting was happening, everyone was kind of speculating like what could this be about, and then we all saw that the artists all started to change their social media bios. So instead of having their individual managers listed as their point of contact, there's now like a general GMMTV artist work line that they're going to be using, like Change uses, or like Demundi has one, Star Hunter
Mm.
has one.
Mm.
um but, you know, this is kind of a big change because now, and I think someone like messaged the line and it says like now all of their contact for work for any GMMTV artist should not go to their individual managers, but should go to this line instead. And
Mhm.
that'll kind of be the new point of contact for work for GMMTV artists, at least domestically.
Mhm.
Um, but this kind of raised a couple of talking points because GMMTV has historically gotten a lot of flack for having more artists than they have managers that can properly manage.
Mhm.
So people are like, okay, this could be a way for them to kind of even the workload a little bit by not
Yeah.
having their personal managers having to because like some of their managers manage 20 artists while some only
Yeah.
manage like 5. So for some managers, I can imagine it's really really hard for them to keep up with the work opportunities that might be coming in compared to others. But then
Mhm.
on the other hand, people were saying like this makes it hard to keep people accountable, like individuals accountable, if something happens in the management side of things.
Mhm.
Specifically, like people brought up recently Fourth and the whole mismanagement of his schedule with the Denver fan meet for Gemini
Um,
and Force fan meet, which I don't know if that was fully a management thing, but people were upset that like his schedule basically overlapped for this requirement that he had to be in Thailand for the
Mm.
military enlistment versus like they were also scheduled to have their Denver fan meet at that time. And a lot of fans were saying, like, you know, they should know that this enlistment always happens between this period of time in Thailand. So why would they make the decision to schedule a fan meet at that time, knowing Fourth would have to be present for that? He wasn't drawing a card, I think, but he had to be present there as like someone who was eligible to go to the military.
Right.
Um, and then the other situation, which I don't know if we ever talked about this on the podcast, but a while back, Nanon's previous manager, like, gotten a
oh,
lot of flack for allegedly like pocketing gifts and money that the fan
Mm.
club gave her to pass on to Nanon.
Mm.
And that was like, oh, he posted a big thing about it. I don't know if they ever like pursued it legally, but it
Mm.
was a thing that like he talked about and like how his trust was broken. She was someone he'd worked with for a long time.
Mm.
So there are like these situations of GMMTV managers clearly like taking advantage of or not properly handling situations. And some fans feel like, okay, well, this is kind of a way to make it hard to hold people accountable when that happens.
I
Yes,
have an
Pixie. It looked
idea
like you were
about
raising your
this.
hand.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just. I have something to say about this. From a business point of view,
Hmm.
this will be better for management and
Hmm.
scheduling because they are doing it because they've gotten so big that it's not possible for the individual managers to keep track of everything. That is why the mistakes are
Hmm.
happening. So
Yeah.
they have like a whole office basically doing all the scheduling and all of that part of the managing of the artist, and the managers will probably just meet with whatever group office thing that is managing that now and be
Hmm.
more focused on the individuals than
Hmm.
having to put on schedules, because scheduling is hard. And if you have to
Yeah.
talk with GMMTV and with the sponsors and with the so many people are involved that the managers, there's a higher chance the managers are going to fail. So if they
Hmm.
put the
Mm.
work to its own office, it's going to be easier. So 100% they're doing this to keep better track, and it's a good thing. They've just gotten too big to let the managers deal with it.
Yeah. No, I think I agree. Like at like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like at as a concept, I think it makes more sense to have like
Mhm.
this central place where like
Yeah.
people's job is to manage like the work opportunities that come in, as
Yeah.
opposed to the managers who are taking them into their schedules, being present at their schedules while also having to schedule their schedules. Like it's just a
Mhm.
lot for
It's a lot.
a like one person to handle, especially some of these people who do have like 15, 20 artists that they're managing.
Mhm.
Which has always been interesting to me, the way they break down like how many like how many artists each manager has, but I'm sure there's a
Mhm.
math to that based on
Yeah.
like how popular the artist and how many schedules they
Yeah.
usually have and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it's definitely like I think it'll personally I think it'll probably benefit them. I
Yeah.
think it is a way to kind of like they literally just like 3 days ago announced that they're signing Ping, who was part of Mean Ping, the Mean Ping pairing. It's like they keep taking in more artists. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
hiring any more managers, but they definitely need to centralize more of their, and maybe now they
Mm.
just have more resources to be able to centralize stuff that they didn't previously,
Mhm.
but hopefully
And I
we'll
mean,
see
they're
some
doing more
improvements.
fan meets internationally. They're doing much more than they were before. So it makes
Hmm.
sense for them
Mm.
to evolve as a company and distribute the work differently. We had to
Hmm.
do the same thing when we grew in our shops, dry cleaning shops, and had to like change the admin of the business to like
Hmm.
reflect the growing shops. So yeah, I it makes sense. It makes complete sense to me hearing that
Hmm.
from a business point of view.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think the timing of this one is kind of interesting too, because wasn't GMMTV just embroiled in a controversy where some of the managers kept turning down work for the
I think
artists?
I think that was part of it as well. And that might have been the thing that like like was like the final
Yeah.
straw. I couldn't find the specifics of like that one,
Hmm.
but I do remember seeing like, and that's like a thing that people have had issues with for them for a long time. Although I don't know that they've always had proof. Like there's always people that think like certain managers give preference to certain artists or
Mhm.
give more
Yeah.
care to certain
Yeah.
artists in that they're managing compared to others and stuff like that.
Okay. hundred
Um,
percent that happens. Like
yeah, I
we're
mean,
just human.
I'm sure it does. But yeah, no, I think it is definitely like in response to some of the stuff that they've gotten caught up in very
Yeah.
recently with
I
management of work
mean, with them
schedules.
signing so many new people, they've probably had to make some promises to these new people as well. I mean, like a lot of the actors, like they're already established actors, so going to GMMTV wouldn't like be their make it or break it situation. so
Mhm.
so I think like they probably have some like contracts where it's specific that they're supposed to take better care of their schedules and whatnot and
Yeah.
opportunities.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like being with a company like GMMTV probably offers stability compared
Yeah.
to being a
Mhm.
freelance actor. So
Mhm.
I'm sure there are like some contractual clauses about like certain types of work that they'll be able and things they'll be able to attend no matter what that make. Because I know a lot of people are like, why would like why would Barcode choose to go to GMMTV? Why would X artist choose to go to GMMTV? But
Mm.
GMMTV has a reputation and like it's not necessarily a bad one in the business side of things. So I think there are benefits to
No.
being with a company
Mhm.
like that. But
Just gonna say, I also think like a company that is that big can also easily swallow up actors and artists. So there's
mm,
definitely like a
Yeah.
plus size and a minus to it.
double-edged sword. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. Which I think kind of goes back to like hopefully with this they'll be able to like equalize some of the job opportunities people are getting,
I
but
hope.
you never know. But yeah, and then like the other element of that was this whole thing felt kind of impromptu, which I'm guessing like they probably had plans to do this in a more formal setting because people are like, why are we having this meeting in the GMMTV practice room? But then like someone from the staff came out and said that like that day was originally supposed to be the GMMTV outing weekend, but
Mm.
Fork's
Oh,
dad passed away.
yeah.
So
Oh.
because of the funeral, they decided to postpone the GMMTV outing, but all the
Mm.
actors had free schedules, so they were like, well, let's do this
That's,
instead. So that's why it all seemed like kind of it seemed like it was happening on like a random Tuesday because it kind of was more of like an impromptu
Mhm.
meeting that was set up.
mm.
But
Makes sense.
yeah, so I guess we'll stay tuned and see how things might change with this new structure that they're going for. I'll be curious to see
Mm.
if it'll be changes that we can visibly see from like the fans perspective.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, jumping over to Idol Factory,
Mm.
I wanted to talk about Saint's upcoming return to BL and why some fans are a little
Mm.
worried about his ship.
Mm.
Who is?
Um so Poom, I forget his last
Oh.
name. Poom, Saint and Poom. Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Saint and Poom's new series is coming out on May 16th,
Mhm.
and it's called My Sweetheart Jom.
Mhm.
Mm.
And a lot of people are excited about it. Like, I think I'm probably going to be tuning in, especially because this will mark Saint's official return, quote unquote, to BL. Like, we've seen
Mm.
him in quite a few supporting roles for the past 5 years. But he's mostly remained in the background as an
Mm.
executive producer on projects rather than being a star in them.
Mhm.
So it's just
Mhm.
really exciting. Like as a long time Saint fan, I'm so excited to just like see him
Mhm.
act in a BL series and a BL pairing again. But even though people
Yes.
are excited, um, some fans have been raising ethical concerns about him working with Poom as a pairing because Saint is the
Yeah.
Mm.
CEO of Idol Factory, so technically he's Poom's boss.
Yeah.
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 So like yeah, the power imbalance there people are kind of concerned about, and they've pointed out how that kind of dynamic could make it difficult for Poom to say no to certain things, or he might feel
Mhm.
pressured like he has to go along with something that makes him uncomfortable. And like
Right.
from the discourse I've been seeing about it, it doesn't seem like people are like 100% against like Saint and Poom being a pairing. It's just more of like
Mm.
people are like, I don't know how I feel about this. They're a little worried that if like something goes awry, God forbid, that it would negatively affect Poom more than
Mhm.
anything because he's the
Yeah.
employee technically.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. I will say this, that I like from everything we've seen from Saint, he isn't really the person to take advantage of people. Like he's very thoughtful with everything he does. From what we can see, like you never know, people can surprise you,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but like from what we've seen, I couldn't imagine him actually doing that to someone, like taking advantage of them in that way. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like a difficult thing because like I recognize that I'm biased because I also feel the
Mhm.
same way about him, like that he seems very like
Mm,
thoughtful with everything he does and like would never do something to make someone uncomfortable, but I'm
mhm,
also like acknowledging to myself that like no one should be put on a pedestal and that we don't
mhm.
actually know these people.
No.
Yeah.
But I was just watching an interview. It might have actually been the press conference for the show. I can't remember. But Saint and Poom were talking about how happy they are to be working together because I guess
Yeah.
they've had a close working relationship for a while behind the scenes. And Poom seemed really enthusiastic. So
I
I'm
mean,
just hoping
it's a
that
great
everything goes
chance for
well.
him. Like Saint is really
Yeah.
well known and well loved, and it's a great opportunity for Poom, as long as like he's not taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like the concern is fair and natural. Like, cause like even if you it's not something we would ever see Saint doing. It's like even if something went wrong that was completely out of either of their control,
Right.
Saint as a CEO of Idol Factory has a lot more protections than a newer artist like actor does who's working with him. So just like naturally if something were to go wrong that was no one's fault, Saint would
Mhm.
have like a little bit more protection there, and a little bit more to fall back on. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where like Saint seems like and they seem like they're both very excited to work together. So like you just want to hope for the best and hope that like what we've seen from Saint is the truth. And like I never want to believe someone's a bad person before they've done anything to
Yeah.
show that they're a bad person.
Yeah.
But I think it is like a valid concern. And I think like fans should question that stuff more often because
Mm,
there is a lot that
completely.
flies under the radar that deserves to kind of get a second look. So I think in general, like not even just with this situation, but just some of these things that happen in these companies in general, it's like nice to see that fans are being a little bit more,
Cautious.
I don't know if proactive's the right word.
Mm,
Cautious is a good word,
Mm.
like protective, like critical thinking about like how
mm,
these relationship dynamics work. Like even if this is not a situation where something bad is going to happen, it's
mhm.
nice that, the fandom is exerting a little bit more concern in general about the protections of artists, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I will say, as from a different point of view as well, for Saint, who is the CEO of the company, if a scandal happens because of this, the company will tank. That is his livelihood, like his job,
Mm.
his company. He has a lot of risk in this as well.
Hmm.
So doing something like that wouldn't benefit him in any way. Like
Hmm.
he's too public of a figure. Like if he was like anonymous uh, man at the top that no one had seen or knew who was, like the whole thing with
Hmm.
Motive Village and the guy that took
Oh god.
advantage of Earth, right? That was kind of like, okay, you don't know who he is, you've never seen his face, whatever. Not whatever, but you know what I mean. But Saint is so well known that anything happens, anything goes back on him, it's gonna be really bad for the company.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, he's
true.
just so respected, I feel like. Like, I would say
Hmm.
that I really respect him
Hmm.
just
His
as
reputation
someone
is
who
gonna
has
go
been
to
like,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm
yeah.
gonna be watching because I miss seeing Saint act. But yeah, I hope everything goes well for them. I hope the series does well. I'm sure it will. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I
coming up
feel
soon.
like Yeah, it was like I feel like I mean I know they released a couple teasers. Maybe I just haven't been locked in. So I'm like I haven't seen like an official trailer or anything yet.
I
But
haven't really either.
I low key don't even know what the series is about. That's really
Okay.
bad to say. I need to like
Okay.
Oh,
catch up
Do you
on the
wanna hear
content
it?
of it.
Do you wanna hear the
something with
little text?
mafia?
Yeah, listen. After getting in trouble for dating a mafia boss's son's girlfriend, a young man is forced to transfer schools for his safety. Instead of sending him abroad, his father relocates him to a rural village, placing him under the care of the local headman and his stern grandson. Surrounded by new challenges and strict discipline, he soon realizes he might end up losing more than just his rebellious nature, perhaps even his heart. It is giving a little bit of Thousand Stars.
Tale of Thousand Stars. I was gonna
Yeah.
say. That's what I
Yeah.
was
It
gonna
is
say. I was like,
giving a
gives
little
Tale of
bit.
Thousand Stars.
Yeah. Even
But
the pictures they posted, like where they're like posting like the characters, it's giving 1,000 stars. I'm sorry.
They reheated their nachos.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's is it based on a novel, does it say, or is
It
it
is.
just like
It is
mm,
based on
mm,
Naoto's novel that is called The Village Chief's Darling.
a Village Chief's Darling.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay.
I don't know. I know like I'm gonna have to lock into the teasers because Idol Factory does not play when it comes to production value.
Hmm.
Like all of their shows, like they have put a lot into the production value, and
Mhm.
Saint being back and officially like leading a BL after all this time is very exciting. So
Yes.
it is gonna be really cool to see it all unfold.
I have loved Saint since Why Are You?
I've literally loved him since the beginning. Like,
Love
he
by
was the
chance.
first actor that I ever followed. So it's really
I
Yeah.
crazy.
I will say I watched Why Are You before I watched Love by Chance. So
It was funny. I was cleaning out my computer a little bit the other day and I came across a bunch of GIFs I made in 2018 for Love by Chance. And Saint
Mhm.
was such a baby that it's so
Mm,
crazy.
he
I probably
But
was.
reblogged those at the time. That's funny.
but
Ugh,
we'll see. It's exciting. It's exciting
yeah.
that it's a lot sooner than I realized it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
thought
we
of
have a
something
little more
else.
time if you don't have
I thought of
anything
something
else.
else.
Okay, go for it.
I don't know. It's just like a very, very, very small thing, but it just came to my mind when Kayla was talking about new ships.
Mhm.
Have y'all seen Pixie? I know you're not online like this, but
I'm
Sunny
not-
and Top Tap. Have you
I
guys seen
Yes.
anything
heard,
from Sunny and Top Tap?
I heard, but
Yes. A little bit.
So it's very much like very new, but there was just
Mhm.
like a couple weeks ago because like Sunny was under Me Mind Why. He was one of the leads in the wedding plan. He
Mhm.
announced that like his contract was ending with Me Mind Why, and then like very soon after, he started posting TikToks with Top Tap,
Yeah.
and everyone was kind of like side eyeing, like, oh, what's going on here? Um, they've been posting together so much. They've been hitting all of the TikTok trends. They've been spending a lot of time together. And then Top Tap was doing a live with one of the actors from Choco Milkshake randomly. I think they're friends
What?
from like cuz Top Tap is done work in Korea, so I guess they met because of that because they're both in the BL industry. A lot of Thai and Korean BL actors kind of like have linked up when they have
Right.
like gone to each other's countries, but he
Uh-huh.
was doing a live with him and he officially was like, yes, Sunny is my new partner. And they're like, I don't think they have, based on what Top Tap was saying, I don't think they have a project lined up yet. So it's kind of interesting that they've like,
Hmm.
unless they just can't say that they have a project, but it was interesting to me
Mm,
that they've like aligned themselves as partners without necessarily having a project that they're
they
100%,
probably
maybe some
have.
things in the
They
work, maybe they're
probably have.
auditioning,
Hmm.
but he was saying like we're looking for like work basically, like not in, I don't know if he meant series, maybe he was talking about like other like appearances and things like that, but Yeah, so they've really been on. At first, everyone was like, "Oh, is this like an actual like couple?" But then,
Mhm.
like when Top Tap said like, "Oh, this is my new partner," I kind of like everyone kind of gleaned that he meant like his new like ship partner. But yeah, so they've been on people's radars lately. I mean, 'cause Top Tap was doing a lot of stuff with Fluke from what was the series name for Jamie's novel, My Secret Love? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, yeah.
My Secret
I think so.
Top Tap was like posting a lot with Fluke, who was the lead in My Secret Love for a while, and
Mhm.
then like they kind of stopped posting, and then like shortly after that, like now he's doing stuff with Sunny. So I feel like maybe he's had like a couple of like projects in the works that they just haven't found the right chemistry with, but they seem pretty set on. And Top Tap specifically said it's Sunny Top Tap, even though like we've had discussions about this ship discourse on here very
Oh Lord.
recently. And our last episode we did of
Oh
BL
my
Fandom
god.
catch up, but he was very
Yes.
adamant that it is Sunny Top Tap. He said no,
Mhm.
please, no, thank you to Top Tap Sunny. So,
Oh
Mhm.
but
my gosh.
yeah,
It
so I feel like everyone's very
it
curious
does
about where that's going.
it does say they're under Act Space Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of
I've
them.
never heard of that
I don't know.
management company, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm tuning in.
Hmm.
We love Top Tap here,
I
so I would love to
love
see him
that.
acting again in anything. And I didn't finish The Wedding Plan, but I watched a good chunk of it, and I liked Sunny well enough. I don't remember too much, but he didn't stick out as being like bad to me, so that's a
Mm.
win.
Yeah, I've been getting
I
their
can't remember
TikToks,
that
but
show.
I didn't recognize Sunny. I guess
Sunny?
I
Yeah,
haven't seen anything with him in it.
I feel like by me mind why perspectives, The Wedding Plan was like a bit of a flop in terms of like engagement. I think compare but I mean it sucks because they really mainly only promote Boss Knoll and Fort Pete with so like
Mm.
but yeah, I feel like that show kind of really flew under the radar in terms of like what me mind why productions usually like garner with
Mm.
engagement. But I watched part of it. I
Oh,
watched mainly for the GL side couple.
Sunny was in Top Secret together as well.
Is
Did you
that the one
Which one's
forget
that
that?
that
both the
show
New Year were
happened?
in?
It's from 2021. He was a main in
Is that
Top Secret together.
it's I don't think I watched it.
Wait, what show is that?
Is that the one? That's the one both the New Year were in, right? I don't know.
Uh,
It's not one I watched. I know
Mm.
that much.
let's see. I'm trying to. Yeah, both the New Year. It
Mm.
was were in that. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I
Yeah.
only know about that show because both the New Year were in it. So
Mm.
I only knew him from The Wedding Plan, or
Mm.
remembered him from The Wedding Plan, I should say. But yeah, so they're kind of on people's radars right now. Just a little bit
Hmm.
of a random news fandom tidbit that came to my mind. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. It was kind of
Yeah,
difficult
I feel
finding
like.
things that were going on. It's pretty quiet right
Mm-hmm.
now.
I mean there. Yeah, right. There's not a lot. If you think back a couple of years with all the drama we had with like Motive Village, all of that shit that was like happening like weekly, and nothing is happening anymore. Why?
Maybe it's good that isn't
I was
happening
gonna say
weekly.
maybe that's for the better.
Like,
that is true. That is true.
just the mention of that man's name is a jump scare to me.
Yeah, no shit. I'm actually curious what the frick he's doing right now. I'm
I'm
actually a
not.
little bit curious.
I'm most definitely not.
I swear I just saw him pop up in something, but I can't remember what it was. I really can't remember. I don't
Because
know.
he hasn't done any
Who knows? Who
shows,
cares?
right? Because there's like
No.
I haven't heard of anything. No, I'm not like
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like when stuff is happening now, it's kind of more like fans stepping out than other things
At
Right.
least that we know of.
that we know of. Yes.
But I would like to
Okay.
believe there are more productions and stuff for artists now, which is why we're hearing less about that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Yes. Same. Same. Do we want to end it on like a fun, just like talk about what we're watching right now?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
If
What
Pixie
am I
wants to talk about
watching?
the next Prince, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not alone. Okay.
Definitely not.
For those who don't know, we're filming this on the day the next Prince first episode was
Mhm.
released.
Mhm.
And for those who know us, know obviously that Kayla has watched it. I'm surprised just one time that she hasn't gone through it 3
I'm
times
getting
already
to
is
it.
We have stuff to do.
lacking.
Trust, I'm getting to that.
Yeah. No, I think this is like one of the first shows in a while that we've all watched it on the day that it was released, like almost right away.
Yeah, I was debating actually like waiting to watch it until after we recorded because usually I like to watch my stuff like at night. It's
Yeah,
like my whole
I'm
routine.
like that too.
But
Mhm.
then like Kayla started posting about it and everyone was posting about it and I was like, well, now I have our recording
Mhm.
got delayed a little bit, so I was like, well, now I have to tune in. Like there's no excuse for me to not tune
Oh,
in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I made a
no,
whole
I've been
thing. Like, I ordered my food. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for my food to get here. And then I'm going to watch the next Prince. I was going to watch it on the big ass TV downstairs, but my iQIYI would
Mm.
not log in.
damn.
So I had to settle. But yeah,
Mm.
it was, I don't even know what to say about it. I have
Mm.
too many thoughts in my head to the point where it's almost like I
Mm.
have no thoughts.
Mm.
Yeah, I get that. When I feel like when you've been waiting for something for so long and it like meets your expectations, you're like, "Oh." Like cuz like it's almost easier to have things to say when like you didn't like something or when
Yeah.
something like fell
Right.
kind of flat. But like
Mhm.
the first episode was just like it was
It was
everything like I hoped it would
perfect.
be. And so now I'm just like all I have to say is like I'm really excited to watch more of it.
Yeah.
Like
You know, I tend to like get stuck on storytelling and all of this, but like the pacing, the plot so far, the like everything, the world they're in is so fleshed out, and it's just like
mhm.
the cinematography, like what I loved when C is like the first scene, he's walking in because he's gonna meet the king or
Mhm.
whatever, and you see it
Mhm.
first, like you see him walking in the door and he turns back to see them close the door, and then the camera shifts for behind him and he walks ahead, and
Mhm.
then like it keeps switching from his point of view to you watching him, and it's so
Mhm.
well done. I'm just like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
did they think of that?
Man,
I just go ahead, Kayla.
that the cameras that they used are, I forget what kind of camera it is, but they're like hella expensive.
Mm.
hmm
Like the ones that use robotics to
Mm.
move, like
hmm
a lot of K-pop music videos use them.
Mm.
Yeah, like those
That's where
Yeah.
big
I've
ass
seen
like
it.
rigs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. Like I just keep thinking how much the cameras cost when it comes to
Yeah.
the cinematography in this series. Like, man.
Mm.
It just
Mm.
it makes me so glad that they took their time with it. I know people were frustrated with having to wait year after year to get like crumbs about the next Prince updates, and I know people
Mm.
like a lot of people did not think that this day would come, but like I'm
Yeah,
so glad that like they took
they
their
took their
time.
time.
They created a story with the authors that was like made for Z and Nanu. They took the time to make sure
Mm.
they had the budget to execute this. Because like
Yes.
a royalty series is not going to work if it's not of a certain budget. Like it's just like the
Yeah.
world building that's needed for a royalty
Mhm.
series is like so big. And so
Yeah.
like it just makes me really glad that like even if it took 3 years, like the product that we're starting to see based on the trailers and the documentary and the first episode, it feels like it's gonna be worth the wait. And I just feel like it's
Mm.
gonna be something like a lot of people have been comparing it to like Kin Porsche and the level of impact that Kim Porsche had on the BL industry in
Mm-hmm.
2022. I honestly feel like this could even go beyond that just because of
I
this the potential
100%.
that this world building has. So
Yeah.
like I don't know, I'm just really excited to see it all unfold.
Yeah, because I think like Kin
Mm-hmm.
Porsche lacked in the story building area, honestly. Like for me,
Mm,
like the plot and the story building wasn't completely there. Things kind of felt out of place or whatever. But
mm.
here you're so immersed into the story right away. Yeah, there's a country or whatever called Emerly, was that?
Emily.
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 Yeah, and that exists. I believe that. Like that's a country now. Like you cannot tell me otherwise.
I'm moving there.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I do highly recommend watching the documentary if you haven't, because that made me really appreciate the production side of it even more. Like I love that they specifically talked about like pushing against like AI
That made me so
by
happy.
creating like everything by hand, like sculpting everything by hand, painting everything by hand, and like making sure that
Love
even
that.
just like all the
All of the
art
design
pieces,
elements. Yeah.
yeah, like oh, the amount of time that takes is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
crazy. Just the attention to detail. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
The
It's gonna
passion
be.
shows in the final result,
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
and we deserve this show. Like we deserve this. We've plowed through enough
Z
like
and
If nothing
Nanu
else,
mediocre
deserve it.
Kayla
BLs.
deserves this show.
Yeah.
Those two, they deserve it. They
True.
deserve it.
True.
Mm.
This is a project
Man,
worthy of Xenanu.
I had so much trouble pointing. I was like, wait, where?
The camera
Oh my
reversing, yeah.
I
Oh,
have
Z.
C over my shoulder there, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
something random about Z. Like, okay, obviously he is a very handsome individual. But
Mhm.
before this series, I never really looked at him and I was like, oh, like he looks really good. But like, I always just am like, yeah, he's like a handsome guy. But something about like the uniform, it's
Yeah.
really the uniform.
Yeah, there
Him
is
in the
something about the
uniform, I was
uniform.
like,
Yep.
whoa. I was like, this is
Yep.
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna make a reference to one of our favorite things. It's very Caleb in Love in Deep Space.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
It's very much that. And I can't. It's so good.
I am here for that. I am so here for that. Yes. I will say I've always been on the seed train. Like he was
Yeah.
one of the first actors that I just fell in love with and I have not let up, okay? So I am really really here for it.
Hmm.
It's like both of them already looked good, but I feel like they had like an even bigger glow up. Like
Leveled up.
Nanu's dyed hair, it like
Oh,
Mhm.
I love it.
it's so good. It's like the perfect
Mhm.
color for him. Like if you did like one of those color analyses, I feel like that is his hair color.
And
Hmm.
can I
So
say
good.
that with Nunu's acting, I feel like it's more natural in this show. Like, there's not like over the top comedy acting. Like, it feels his reactions and everything feels natural. And it's just, I love how subtle it is with him still being sassy.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you can see the improvements.
Mm.
It's just it's nice to see him. I don't know if nice is the word, but just like in a more emotional role. It's cool to see
Mm-hmm.
him in that, just like getting to play a more layered character than in
Mm.
Cutie Pie, where it wasn't that it was one dimensional, but it was just that he wasn't, I guess, like falling over distraught over anything in that series. Like
Mm.
the
Mm.
consequences of anything that happened in that series weren't that serious.
Yeah. The
Mm.
emotional requirements for Cutie Pie were just different than what they're gonna be
Yeah.
for this show. I was gonna say, everyone to hedge your bets right now if Poppy's gonna make a cameo like he does in
Oh my
every other.
god.
Because
Oh my god, who could he
I swear to
be?
God, he's gonna show up at some point for like some kind of
Dude.
cameo. It wouldn't be a Demundi show without him. The way he showed up in Your Sky.
Also, not us getting like a kiss in the first episode.
The Pocky
Yeah,
kiss.
technically a kiss.
The K
The
drama
Pocky,
classic.
right? That reminded me so much of Korean dramas and like how K-pop
Mhm.
groups also used to do that Pocky
Oh
challenge
my
all the time.
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring back Pocky Challenge K-pop groups.
Right.
Oh, it was so good. I need to
Mm.
watch it one more time. Honestly, I haven't said this about a show in I don't remember how long, but I need to watch this one more time.
I'm telling you, like I
Mm.
watched it on iQIYI. I'm gonna watch it again on YouTube, and then I'm gonna download that app where they watch it in Thailand, and I'm just gonna let it stream so they get that stream. I'm gonna be like our engagement episode.
Mhm.
The one time Kayla will jump out for the hashtags.
Yeah, literally the one time.
Well, I don't know if either of you guys have watched the other double feature for this weekend, which was Pit Babe 2.
Okay.
It's also Pit Babe 2 weekend.
I did
I got
watch
home
it.
yesterday. I was like, I'm dead. I can't do this. Work is too much. So I'm going to watch it today. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Then we won't say
We
too
won't
much for
talk too much.
spoilers.
Yeah.
But I loved being back immediately in the chaos of that universe.
Mhm.
I love that we got to see everyone in the first episode. Very surprising, no offense to the Pit Babe class, but a female character with a name that had actual lines. I gasped.
Wow.
I did not expect that. But
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much she'll actually be like in the show, but she is an established character. She was in the opening credits. That was exciting. But
Mhm.
yeah, I just
Also, the
another one
plot
where like
twist. The plot twist was plot twisting.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
That is
they
also a
think
way to do
they
it.
kind of made it know that like we knew Supernut was coming back in some way, and I think
No,
they
yeah.
kind of explained like how his character would be back, but it was fun to see it play out, and I'm glad they
Yeah.
found a way. I think there is a lot more to his character than they're showing, which makes me excited.
Mhm.
And Pit Babe is another one where like the production is always up there. And
Mhm.
I just like when I watch that show, I just feel like I'm so glad that Pavel found a project that really allows him to shine as an actor, because
Yeah.
even though there were some emotional episode moments in the first episode, but watching him I'm just like, this is what this man deserves. Like he
Yeah.
deserves
Yes.
like everything that the
Yes.
show has given him, and it just makes me so happy to
100%.
see him back on the screen.
100%. 100%. I'm
Yeah.
so happy for him, and he's doing so well. Like he honestly is carrying the show on his back. But like everyone else is good too, but he was made for this show.
Mm, yeah.
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 I feel like those are the two shows everyone is going to be talking about for the next couple of months. I feel
Yeah.
like having Pip Babe on Fridays and then the next Prince on Saturdays is going to be like such a weekend event.
I'm
But
watching so many shoys now. I have My Golden Blood, and the new the Boys Next Love. Is that the name of it?
Boys in Love is so cute. I'm
Boys
really
in
enjoying
Love.
that
Yeah.
one. That's the other
Mhm.
one I wanted to take a second
Oh,
to hype up, because y'all know I love
it's
my fluffy romance
so
shows.
cute, and I usually don't go for that type of show, but it's really really cute. I really am enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's good. And then I'm also watching Sweet Tooth Good
Top form.
Dentist. Oh, Top Form. Well, yeah. We're talking about Top Form every week, so I forget that like plug for our Patreon. We're doing recaps of Top Form
Yes.
bi-weekly, 2
Yeah.
episodes at a time. So we're talking about that in a lot of depth over on our Patreon. But Top
Yep.
Form's another one that's just I
I
think,
love
been
it.
beyond anyone's expectations of
Yeah.
what that show was going to be. And Smart and Boom are just like, they hit
Mm.
the jackpot with Smart and Boom, truly. Whoever paired
No,
those two
really.
together,
Yeah.
give them a raise, give
Yeah.
them an award, give them something.
Perfect.
I'll give you guys an update if I do keep watching it, but I started to watch the anime because I just like wanted to see
Mm.
what it was like, but I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I can like rarely get into anime anymore, so I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm going to continue it. But
How far did
yeah,
you get into it?
I only like 2 episodes, I think.
Okay, yeah, because that's further than I managed.
Yeah, I got like the exposition basically and that was it.
I think I
So, I don't
struggled
know.
with, for the first time in my life, I struggled with the non-con.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I don't
very
know.
prominent in the anime. It's very yaoi,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I had
And
this
I
whole
kind
thing
of,
where I was like, mhm.
I was using that I don't really like the art style.
Okay, I don't really like it either, which is one of the
Yeah.
reasons why I was like, I don't know if I can keep watching this. But I had like this whole thing where I was like, I'm gonna start watching anime again, and I watched it, and I was like,
Maybe
maybe
not.
I was just too stuck on the nostalgia of other shows that I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
Yeah.
art style is a big one for me too. Like, if
Yeah.
I don't like the art style, I really can't watch it. So
Mm.
we'll see.
Mhm.
We'll see.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes. So that was it for our episode, updating you all on what's happening, and me, obviously, because I don't know anything. It's good to catch up sometimes. So if you guys have heard any news that we haven't heard, we would appreciate you updating us, because obviously we're not as good as looking into drama, or there's nothing
Hey,
happening, which would be
I'm
great.
always locked in.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
chronically online. So speak for yourself.
Alexa is locked in. I'm talking for myself. Okay.
Listen, someone has to be up to date on what's going on this podcast. Me and
And
Kayla,
if
at
you
least,
don't
are
know
usually.
any news, update us on how many shows you're currently watching, because I'm
Mhm.
watching a lot, and it's been a really long time since I've been watching so many shows and enjoying them all. Anyways, follow us, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It really helps us out. And if you have a little extra, go over on our Patreon, where, like Alexa said, we're doing top forum recaps. We have reactions. We have all the good stuff, and we have the exclusive Patreon episodes as well, and those will never see the light of day on any other platforms. So if you want to see us talk about random stuff that no one else gets to see, that's where you'll find it. And yeah, we will see you guys for the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.